This is a prison rioting case which took place on an island in Singapore in 1963. The rioting involved 90 prisoners whom are well-known gangsters in Singapore, and resulted in 3 prison officers being killed.
In Malay, Pulau Senang means Isle of Ease. During colonial times the island was called Barn Islands. In 1960s, there was an island which was used for rehabilitation service or other prison systems to help prisoners to reform and send them back home with abilities for employment. Prisoners whom are sent there from Singapore Changi Prison are mostly well-known secret societies gangster. They are mostly being sent to jail without any trial. In Singapore, jail without any trial is often being called as Section 55. Usually it is used on members of the secret societies. Secret societies are triads in Singapore and Malaysia. Section 55 can also be expanded to loan shark runner. And those who were jailed under Section 55 won't have an exact date of release. Convicts may be jailed for 20 years, or 30 years, or even the rest of their lives. Depends on their behavior. The in charge of the rehabilitation prison program is by an Irish-born prison officer called Daniel Stanley Dutton. He is also known as the Laughing Tiger. He is known to be strict to his detainees, who is under his charge, but lenient at the same time. Some of his colleagues had warned him about his detainees might went rebel, but he always believes that all the detainees whom are sent to the island won't be cruel or evil, so he just laughed it off. And he trusted all detainees on the island, and ordered all prison guards on the island to remove their arms, believing it unnecessary for the need to maintain order via armed force. On the day, the 12th of July 1963, the prisoners who were sent to the island for reformative training went rebel, and a riot of about 90 detainees broke out. But it was not against any other detainees. It was against all the prison officers who were on the island. It is known that there are less than 10 prison officers on the island, supervising over the size of 300 detainees. The riot had killed Mr. Dutton and 2 of his assistant, Mr. Aramugan Mirasingham, and Mr. Tan Ko Kian. Mr. Dutton was killed and even mutilated. The detainees then proceed to burn all the buildings, and they started to celebrate their victory. Some of the detainees, whom were not involved in the riot, went in to help all the surviving prison officers who were injured. The SWAT team stormed into the island, and they surrendered at gunpoint. The courtroom dock at the Singapore court had to be constructed for them. 18 of the rioters were charged and found guilty for murder. 18 of the rioters were charged and found guilty for rioting with deadly weapons. 11 of them were charged and found guilty of rioting. The remaining rioters, who were charged to court, were acquitted. The 18 rioters, whom were found guilty of murder, were given the capital punishment. They were hanged on the morning of the 29th of October 1965. The rest of the rioters, whom were found guilty of rioting and rioting with deadly weapons, were given a jail term of 2 to 3 years. A funeral was held for the late Daniel Stanley Dutton at Bidadari Cemetery. Today, the island is used by the Singapore Armed Forces for their military exercises. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.